But you'll tend to get whatever you have that's written down. And most people have got nothing written down, and they're getting it by the bucket loads. You know? And the reason that people don't like writing it down is they feel like if I write it down, I've committed myself. Exactly. That's what we want you to do. It's not important that you do this business. What's important is that you get what you want out of life. If you can get it peanut farming, great, go for it. All we suggest you do is make a list of the things that are important to you and that you would like to achieve over the next 5 years, and then you figure it out. What's going to get you there quickest? That's what we did, and then when you do that, you'll find it all becomes clear, because then you can go to your upline platinum and they can give you a strategy to go and make that happen. The other thing that I often tell people is, so write down how you'd feel if over the next 5 years you knocked them all over. You know, magnificent, fantastic. And also write down how would you feel if you actually didn't have a crack at it, you didn't have a go, you know? Now, you'd be amazed, I tell that to everyone, and I reckon maybe 2, 3 people out of 100 will actually come back with a list. Most people don't do it. Do you know what? The ones that actually write the list, moving on big time in the business, and the rest struggle with it. And I've told some of them, they come along like this, you know, the business is not working for me. It's like, how are you going with that list that we've asked you to do 15 times? And they still haven't done it. You know, it's like, when you do that list, then we'll talk. And then one day, they do it, and they fire up. Now I know why I'm doing it. It's like, great. So that's a really important step, and don't miss it. The next thing is you need to work out what your commitment is. You know, it's great to have some big goals, but if you're not prepared to do anything, you know, it's amazing. You know, I'll run into some people and they'll say, yeah, you know, I want to make 300 grand a year. And I'm thinking, all right, big dreamer. So how much... You know, like, how many nights a week are you prepared to put into this? You know, and they might say, oh, I want to do that in 3 years. And I'm thinking, it's like, how much effort are you prepared to put in this? How many nights a week? Oh, yeah, 1, 2. I mean, I think you've got to be real. This is a business, you know, like, you show me anything else out there that you're going to make 100 grand a year in the next couple of years by putting in a couple of hours one night. Be real with yourself. Be real with this business. It's an unbelievable business, but if you treat it like a business, you'll get unbelievable results. If you treat it like a part-time hobby, you'll get part-time hobby results. So you need to work out what your commitment is. It's whatever you're prepared to put in. Commitment. You need to make a list. A list is just a list. It's not who's going to do this, it's just making a list. And there's a great tape on that called Making a List. That's pretty original, isn't it? It's just anyone that's over 18, anyone that eats and sleeps and, you know, wears clothes, washes and uses toilet paper. Contact. You know, the contact is just, it's simple. You don't need to elaborate on this. You don't need to make up some high fandangled blurb. It's just like, I mean, if you ring up a mate, like this, I don't know what your upline, whatever your upline's teaching you, use that. But I mean, if I was ringing up a mate, I'd just say, you know, Fred, Warwick here, mate, do you ever look at ideas? You know, like, what are you going to go? No. You know, I'm really... You know, like, I mean, who's going to say no to that? It's like, yeah, of course I look at ideas. Well, yeah, it depends, you know, if they're a bit sceptical. You just say, mate, I've got an idea I'd like to run past you. You're going to be home tomorrow night? I'll drop over about 8. You know, will Mildred be there? So, keep it really simple. You know, most people's biggest fear is that their list is going to run out. Well, that's actually the goal, you know. And there's a great tape on meeting new lists, because your business is actually going to grow with the people that you don't know. There's a fantastic tape called Circles of Success, and it teaches you how to meet people. And I remember listening to it and I thought, oh, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like, he's got this method and he teaches you how to meet people, and it's like, g'day. You know, really original stuff. And anyway, I listened to this tape and I thought, oh, I'm going to use this stuff, you know. And so I caught a plane and I was heading off down to Adelaide, I think, and I pulled into the Sydney airport and I went into this, I'd learnt this technique, like Merritt just says, you know, he just tells you how to do it. He says, actually, I've got an idea, and he says, you pull out a business card, he says, put your name and number there, I might get back in contact with you, and the bloke will do just what you said. And I thought, this is unbelievable, I'm going to try it. Anyway, I gone into this huge cafe or something at the Sydney airport, and I'm like, when I walked in, it's like, there's no one there. Like, they've been warned I'm coming. And I was like, oh. So anyway, I've got myself a coffee and a cake, and I've sat down and sort of like... And anyway, this bloke's come in, a really sharp-looking dude, you know, suit on and the briefcase, and he walks in, and he got himself a coffee and a cake too, and he came and sat next to me. You know, there's about 50 tables, and he sat at my table next to me, and I'm thinking, well, I'm getting good at this. Anyway, we're talking away, and I'm just thinking, I've got to say, right. Anyway, eventually, his plane gets called. He's going to Darwin, and it's like, oh, I've got to go, and it's like, great. And I've just pulled out a card, and I've just gone, put your name and number there. I might get in contact with you. And you wouldn't believe it, he did exactly what Merritt said he was going to do. I was like, oh, why? And I'm thinking, Merritt didn't tell me why. And I've gone, oh, if ever I'm in Sydney, I'll look you up and we'll have a game of squash. And he's just gone. And took off, you know. Now, I can be offended. Anyway, but this is the interesting part, is that's not what Merritt said to say. Merritt said to say, I've got an idea. Put your name and number there. I might be in contact with you. I said, put your name and number there. I might be in contact with you. If you do it exactly as Merritt says, it works only exactly every time. Every time. Now, that was the best thing that could have ever happened, because I never made that mistake again. And it works only every time. It's fantastic. So that's the contact. Show the plan. You know, I mean, all you're trying to do when you go to show somebody this plan, all you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out, when your goal when you go through the door should be big time, I'm going to try and get these people to like me. How are you going to do that? Well, I'll tell you a good start. Make it your mission life that you're going to like them big time, and you're looking for any reason at all that you can like them. Look at best clues around the wall. You know, if you see, like if I went into a house and I saw photos of race horses, jockeys, trophies and all that sort of stuff, I'm not going to talk about cricket, you know, because I played a lot of cricket. And like, imagine I'm talking about cricket and it's like going, cricket, there's nothing more boring on earth, you know. It's like, I mean, that's about what I think about horse racing, but I'm going to take a genuine interest in horse racing. I want to know what he does, what his background is, da-da-da. Do you know what? People love talking about their interests. And they'll talk to you all night. And now they're a great friend of yours. And you know what? It's easy to show the plan to someone when they relate to you. You know, if you go in there with your agenda, you're doing all the talking, it's gone before you started. So you've got to relate to them. And if you can find out, you know, ask them, so, you know, what would make you look at something else? Yeah, just ask them, you know, like it's a really basic question, but most people dodge that question. It's like, well, what are they going to say? Well, you want to know what they're going to say. So you need to book a follow-up within 24 to 48 hours. Just don't leave it longer than that. I mean, I don't know how many times that I've left it longer than that, and it's like, it's a waste of time. I mean, I would have been better off sitting at home having a meal with Lea-Anne than not following them up. You know, it's probably the weakest point in most people's business. And then it's just check your progress, check it with somebody to see that you're on the right track. Like, for instance, I had a bloke ring me one day and he was almost in tears. He'd made about 30 calls and got 30 no's, just absolutely almost in tears. And I said, so what are you saying? And he said, and he told me what he's saying. I thought, oh, that is really good. And it's like, it's almost exactly word for word what I told him. I listened to it and I said, just change that word. I said, make another 3 or 4 calls and ring me back. He made 6 calls, 6 yeses, 6 appointments. Now, don't keep doing something wrong, because if you keep doing it wrong, you'll keep getting the wrong result. You can do it 1,000,000 times and you'll still get the wrong result. The idea is to get better, so learn from it. So if it's not working, don't just keep doing it thinking, oh, I'll just wade my way through it. It won't happen. So check your progress and then rotate the pattern. In other words, just go back to the start. Now, here's the key. Work out whatever you're weakest at and then give yourself let's say you're weakest at contacting people, make it a goal that in 1 month that's going to be your strongest. If that's your weakest link, make it a goal within a month that you're going to be strongest, and go for it. Just get really determined, I'm going to make that my strong point. And at the end of the month, go, righto, what's my weakest link? And it's right, okay, now it's my follow-up. So make it a goal, within this month, I'm going to be strongest in the follow-up. Within a couple of months, you'll have totally changed your whole perception because you've just strengthened your weak links. It's really, really simple. Just a couple of things. I don't care how long you've been in this business. We've been in 9 years. And if you've been in 9 years, the reason that we're here and you're not is when you rested, we kept going. The reason that Beecham went diamond in 2.5 years and we didn't is when we rested, he didn't. It's really just that simple. The biggest and fastest builders of this business are the biggest dream builders, the biggest edifiers, and the biggest promoters. If you can learn to become a big promoter and a big edifier, you want to be passing on all the credit to your people, passing on all the credit to your upline. Promote them big time and you'll move on. So I hope you've got something out of that. If you can get one thing out of that and then go and apply it, you'll slowly, all the pieces of the puzzle in this will start to work out for you and it'll work for you big time. Thanks.